Subregulation 1 states that for the purposes of this subpart, an imprest is a form of cash advance, which is a prepayment, or a float which the accounting officer may authorize to be issued to officers who, in the course of duty, are required to make payments which cannot conveniently be made through the cash office of a government entity or bank account. So this is where prepayments comes in.
Okay, so that is a legal basis for prepayments.
Yes.
Who is the accounting officer or the AIE holder in the office of the governor?
I indicated there's a chief officer. Initially, there used to be a chief of staff.
Are there mechanisms of accountability in respect to those to those holders, those office holders?
Yes, there are.
Is there a distinction between IFMIS and imprest?
Yes, there is.
Just in brief summary, so that we, to the best of your understanding.
The imprest is those prepayments and advances.
Yes.
IFMIS, it's actually a generated document from the IFMIS, which indicates the payments that have been made. Indicates a payment that has been made? Yes.
Okay. There was reference to payments that were made during the tenure of Governor Kiraitu, Honorable Kiraitu Murungi.
Yes.
Can you confirm, if it's true or not, that those payments were made actually on the same debt? Is that something you're able to confirm?
Yes, I can confirm.
Is that the position?
It is the position.
So that the fact that a payment is made on a single day doesn't mean that that becomes an impeachable offense.
Yeah, and actually, and indicated the reasons why these payments are made on a single day is because at times the county can take 2 months or so, 3 months before the funds are released to the county. During this period, officers are sent to places. During this period, activities are going on. The county is still running. But on the basis that when these funds land to the county the account, then those people who have incurred expenses, they are going to claim those expenses, and the expenses might be paid in a day, even 5 of them, when the money is available.
So that is not irregular?
Yes, it is very regular.
Okay, we will, there was an issue I wanted to clarify about the court order. I saw the stay order, what you meant, what you understood by the stay order and what it meant.
Yes, what I meant is that after these particular officers were given letters, were sent on compulsory leave, the court order froze that letter. Those letters sending them on compulsory leave, meaning that they are entitled to their benefits and salaries as a consequence of that court order.
Okay. We can then answer the last question, which was very difficult, with its simple answer. Mr. Mudomi asked you about a worksheet, and he put you to task whether it was a photocopy or not. Do you remember that question?
Yes, I remember.
Okay. Was that document the original?
It was not the original.
So it must have been a copy?
It must have been a copy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, honorable senators, we will have 10 minutes for questions and clarifications, starting with Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And my question will go to the Council for the Governor. And let me start by saying that Article 195 of the Constitution is very clear in regards to the powers of the County Assembly in regards to being able to summon for any person to appear for purposes of giving evidence or information, and Part B of that compels for the production of documents. On Volume 2, page 31 and page 32, we have letters that the CEC had been requested to be able to issue audited reports for financial year 22-23, knowing very well we are currently in financial year 23-24. And apparently, the response to the letter indicated that still, the Auditor General was in the process of auditing the financial statements, which forms part of the response that they had requested. And yet, we have already closed financial year 22 and 23. So I would like a clarification as to why the CEC Finance was not in a position to be able to submit the audited reports as required as per the PFM Act. And on the same, PFM Act Article 91 states very clearly that the County Assembly should be able to set the capping for the interest amount. Did the Assembly have the opportunity to be able to cap the amount of interest that is supposed to be used as required? Because we've seen 78 million interest, but what we have in the records as per what has been tabled is amounting to a lesser amount. So we'd want to know the levels of the amounts of the interest. And finally, because I don't think I'll get maybe another opportunity, I would be very curious to know, Mr. Speaker, finally, if today, which is a very key day for this decision for the Meru County, knowing that this is the second impeachment process, Madam Governor, being the second one, you realize that all the MCAs in the first round agreed to your impeachment. The second round, the same MCAs agreed to your impeachment. Madam Governor, knowing very well that the County Assembly are responsible for passing your budgets, how do you then plan, if you go back to the same county, how will you ensure that these same MCAs who still impeached you for the second time are still going to ensure that they pass your budget so that you can continue with the developments required in Meru, and you're going to offer the Meru people the services, quality services that they deserve? Those are my simple questions, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Council.
I didn't get that question, but there are some questions to the witness. Perhaps he can start with those.
Okay, thank you. Probably the question that was posed to me is on why the CEC Finance, what response the CEC Finance gave to the County Assembly when requested to submit the IFMIS, an extract of the IFMIS, as per the letter dated 9th October 2023. And the response that the CCM Finance gave, that these are statements that the Public Finance Management Act under Section 164 makes provisions for the county treasury of the county government to prepare and submit to the Auditor General the annual financial statements in respect of county governments. And the CCM further saying that it is upon the completion of the audit that a report is submitted to the County Assembly, where within 3 months after receiving the audit report, the County Assembly can take appropriate action. So the audit process is ongoing. When this process finalizes, the audit report will be tabled to the Assembly, and the Assembly can take appropriate action on the same.
Talking of financial year
Senator Tabitha, you certainly cannot do that. Proceed, Council.
Just answer.
Okay. I'll let the witness also answer the second question, which was on why we accounted for less than what was set out there.
Thank you. And why we accounted for only 2 million as opposed to the 78 million that has been alleged here is that the manner in which that count was framed, it was, the allegation was that the governor has misappropriated funds through specific named persons who are indicated and collectively referred to as the governor's relatives. It is on this breadth that we endeavored to account for payment that has been made to these particular specific persons amounting to 2 million.
Okay, and then the last question that you asked, or first which was overlapping, we have said that there are consequences for disobeying a summon by the county assembly. That is set out in statute, so that if somebody is summoned and that person does not appear, the county assembly, just like this house, has something it can do to command the enforcement of the orders. So that I think that that is there. It doesn't mean that somebody has to be impeached. There are cases where we have seen, for example, this house summoning someone who doesn't appear. Doesn't mean those people then become a subject of an impeachment. That's what we are responding to in the context of this discussion.
Senator Maruma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mine is some clarification from Mr. Mnene. We have some invoices that are not signed by the authorizing officers. You have indicated that they have not been signed because the original documents which have all the signatures are with the external auditors. But Mr. Speaker, my knowledge of accounting has it that the documents that are taken to the auditors are actually original copies and you are left with the photocopies. So I don't know how you're able to get these documents that you've put in the annexures. Where did you fish them from? I want that clarity, because then the ones with all the signatures were with the external auditors. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I indicated that these documents, we got them from the file of the Chief of Staff. The Chief of Staff, ordinarily what he does is that before he forwards the document, the original document to the Department of Finance, he makes a copy. And when we were given these directives that we need to respond within 3 days, I requested the Chief of Staff to give me a copy of the file that he owns, where these documents are.
Senator Miraj.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My questions goes to the County Assembly. Are the IFMIS transactions that form the basis of the impeachment of the governor the same ones that are the same ones under investigations at the EACC? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Respond.
Mr. Speaker, we do not know. All we know is that this complaint was also sent to the EACC and to many other agencies. Whether EACC is actually investigating it, we do not know, and there is no evidence, either from the governor or from anyone, that the EACC is investigating these complaints.
Senator Lekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've got two clarifications that I need to get clarified. One is from the lawyer. I was listening to, and the question—
Which lawyer? There are so many lawyers here.
The lawyer for the Assembly. Thionkolu. It's a very good name. Volume 3. We are looking at Section 45, Protection of Public Property and Revenue, etc. So you referred to 45, 2A, Roman numeral number 2 and 3. And specifically, you said goods not supplied or not supplied in full, number 2, services not rendered or not adequately rendered. So the question that I wanted to get clarity from you is whether you are relying 100% on the IFMIS extracts or you've received audited financial statements as per Section 31 of the Public Audit Act. And I want to remind you, Section 31(5) stipulates that after the audit process, they shall be tabled in Parliament and also at the Assembly. So if you can clarify that, I'd really appreciate it. Number two, I asked this question yesterday. I didn't get a proper clarification. It has come back again today on the issue of the accounting officer. Section 103 of the PFM Act establishes the county treasury, and it puts the CEC in charge of finance as the head of the county treasury. Section 199 of the PFM Act, which is a penalty clause, stipulates penalties which are going to befall any public officer who is in charge of the resources and does not account for them. Could you kindly clarify whether the documents that you've supplied in the case have been audited by the Auditor General and an opinion rendered by the Auditor General on the actual position of those funds? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Council, proceed to respond.
Mr. Speaker, we answered yesterday that the oversight function of the County Assembly and indeed of the Senate is not conditional upon or dependent on whether there is a report by the Auditor General. So it is no requirement that we have a report from the Auditor General as a precondition for raising the issues and picking up the problems that the Assembly has picked in this matter. It is true, Mr. Speaker, that under the PFM Act, the accounting officer would be either the CEC Finance or any other person designated. However, what we have equally found strange, and I think one honorable senator pointed it, the CEC Finance refused, and it's on the record, to submit the documents to the Assembly in our submission on completely outrageous and frivolous grounds. The second matter we found strange is that the documents presented by the Governor in answer to the charges are not authenticated by that CEC Finance. They are not authenticated by the chief officer in that department, among other people. We also found it strange, Mr. Speaker, that when this matter arose, the Governor chose to call our head of legal as the witness to explain, as opposed to the CEC Finance. There is a question of goods supplied and services not rendered. We cited Section 45 of the Anti-Corruption Act because it is one of the many sections that address this question of prepayments, and the specific reason we cited it, Mr. Speaker, is in our very humble submission, impressed cannot explain the prepayment of 78 million shillings. And even if it were to be accepted for argument's sake, just for argument's sake, that interest would be an answer, that would be an admission to abuse of interest by the very definition of the same, because the law specifies what type of expenses can be defrayed by way of interest. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chimera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that opportunity. I just have two questions directed to either the witness or the counsel to the Governor. The response that you filed before us, Governor, page 105 to page 112. On the if missed payments relates to just 3 individuals, yet what we've been given by the County Assembly has many other recipients. Perhaps you can clarify on that. The other question I have is on the if missed payments. There are payments made to one Jane Karimi Kaida, and on a particular date, I think the 20th of September 2022, she received payments totaling to about 3.9 million in one single day. Are these payments also if missed payments, or they are payments related to other services perhaps? If they are not interest payments rather, how come the county government was paying this particular individual if missed payments as interest and not in other form, maybe RTGS or another form of payment? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Counsel for Governor.
Thank you. The question, I think, Mr. Speaker, has been directed to either the council or the witness.
I proceed to respond then.
Thank you. The reason why we have given documents in relation to 3 people or 3 persons mentioned, the answer is in the motion itself and the manner in which it was framed, where it was indicated, the allegation was that the governor has grossly violated the law in the following: through embezzlement of county funds through the governor's sisters and the nephew to the governor's husband, all of whom are collectively referred to as the governor's relatives. That was the A. B says is withdrawal of county funds under the guise of payment for various supplies by the governor's relatives. So the manner in which this particular count was framed, we were required to respond to the issues of the persons referred and collectively referred in the motion as governor's relatives, and they were listed, they were enumerated there. So if the motion indicated that the governor, or the allegation or the claim was that the governor has embezzled funds through Jane Karimi or any other person that appears in the IFMIS, then we would have substantively responded to that.
Thank you. Lastly, Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To counsel for the Assembly, there have been repeated references to alleged forgeries. This is specifically with regards to a work ticket whose serial number has appeared severally. I want the Assembly to clarify whether those documents have been subjected to any verification process, which Council is aware, whether there is a document examiner's report to back the allegation or assertion by the Assembly that in fact those documents are forgeries. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Counsel for the County Assembly.
Mr. Speaker, we only received those documents, I believe, on Saturday evening, so we've not had the opportunity to subject them to a forensic examination. However, you don't need to be an expert in forensics to point out that the dates in that work ticket don't follow natural chronology of events. You don't have to be an expert in document analysis if you're familiar with the frequency of the use of motor vehicles to know that the same work ticket cannot apply to different motor vehicles or even the same motor vehicle for a period of 4 months. And it is on those prima facie, on the face of it, discrepancies and irregularities that we concluded they were forgeries. The next reason why we concluded they were forgeries, these are documents that should be easily available in the governor's office. They were not availed to the Assembly when they were requested, and they were not availed to the Assembly in the impeachment motion. We are being slapped with them at the tail end. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, counsel for the governor, you indicated you had 4 witnesses. You may now proceed to call your 4th witness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Our next and last witness is Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County.
By way of time indication, counsel, how much time do you think you will need with this witness?
I think that with 1.5 hours, I will be through with the witness.
Swear in the witness.
I, Bishop Kawira Mwangaza, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the Senate in respect to the matter before the Senate shall be the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Kindly introduce yourself, your full names and the capacity you hold for record purposes.
Thank you, Speaker and Honorable Senators. I'm Bishop Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor, Meru County.
Thank you. You have received the notice of impeachment, and subsequently the County Assembly of Meru resolved to remove you from office through impeachment. Is that the reason why you're before the Senate today?
Yes.
You have had an occasion to look at all the materials presented by the County Assembly in support of the impeachment. You've also had an opportunity to file a response to that motion.
Yes.
That is the response before the Senate, the one dated 3rd of November, 2023?
Yes.
Together with your affidavit in support of your response?
Yes.
Would you wish, first of all, to affirm that the contents therein form part of your response?
Yes.
Thank you. You were also present at the Senate yesterday when counsel for the County Assembly described you in a certain manner through comparison with a certain criminal in Europe.
Yes, I was.
Is that a true description of your personality?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Specifically, the counsel for the County Assembly accused you of demeaning this House by making a mockery of the impeachment process that found you not guilty in December last year. Did you at any time make a mockery of the proceedings?
Counsel for Governor.
No.
Yes.
The counsel for the County Assembly did apologize and indeed sought to have that record expunged. So as far as we are concerned, that particular record does not form part of the record.
Most obliged. Then I withdraw that line of examination in chief and proceed. Madam Governor, you have been accused of not being capable of working with leaders in Meru, particularly members of County Assembly. And this particular allegation was that you were only able to work for a few weeks after you reconciled with the MCAs. Is that true?
That is not true.
That is not true.
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, for how long have you been having an harmonious working relationship with members of County Assembly?
We've been working together with the members of County Assembly until the last almost 2 months only.
The last 2 months?
Yes.
Are you talking about the month of August and September?
August and September.
Yes. So it is your evidence that throughout the year, save for the 2 months, you have been in a perfect working relationship with members of County Assembly.
Extra perfect relationship working with members of County Assembly.
What made it possible for you to have this harmonious working relationship with the members of County Assembly? Did you have any intentional efforts to mend the fallout that you had with MCs? Did you make any efforts after the impeachment?
The first solution was made by this Senate the last time we were here, and I followed the advice of senators. We want to start down with the MCAs. We again sat and had a lengthy discussion with some other leaders, and from there we've been working together.
Particularly, there was the issue of, for lack of better word, ward development fund. Were you able to facilitate development projects in all the wards of Meru County?
Immediately after we left here, I facilitated ward development fund to every MCA to the tune of 10 million, and this year 15 million for every ward.
Thank you. You have produced a video, KMV1, which I now ask the technical team to play so that we see the kind of efforts and the fruits that were borne by those efforts. KMV1.
Sisi yaliyopita ni past. Kwa hivyo tumeamua kwamba hakuna mtu atakumbuka yaliyopita. Yule alikuwa impeached, wale walikuwa wanaibishana, yote tumeweka nyuma. Tumesema ni kaenda ya maendeleo na kabati ya maendeleo. Kwa hivyo tunafurahi siku ya leo kuleta.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we are having the same challenges.
Secretariat. Tunaomba walio hii ambao wana celebrate disunity.
Just stop the video. The technical team, please go work on it. We will get back to it once the technical team has worked on the system. Council, you may proceed. Once we are ready with the video, we can as well come back to it. We'll always come back to it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So then, Honorable Governor, we have just started watching a video that is not very clear, but can you try and explain to the Senate where you were in that meeting that has been recorded, who were the members present, and what was the purpose?
We were in the premises of County Assembly of Meru with all the members, the 69 of them, and also the county woman representative was present, and we agreed that the past is over. We start working together for the sake of Meru.
Thank you. And can you remember the date of?
Council, I'm informed the video is now ready.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Play it.
Tumeona ni vyema kuwa tuna embrace one another. Mambo yaliyopita tunasema si ndwele ama tunasema nini? Yaliyopita si ndwele, tugange yajayo. Sisi yaliyopita ni past. Kwa hivyo tumeamua kwamba hakuna mtu atakumbuka yaliyopita. Yule alikuwa impeached, wale walikuwa na impishana, yote tumeweka nyuma. Tunasema ni kaende ya maendeleo na kabati ya maendeleo. Kwa hivyo tunafurahi siku ya leo kuleta ujumbe kwa Wameru ya kwamba we are one. na tunaomba walio nje ambao walikuwa wana celebrate maybe disunity wakae kando kidogo, maana tunasonga tukiwa pamoja. Hatutakubali kuweka tena nafasi ya watu kuingilia katikati yetu. We've kept our personal interest kando for the people of Meru.
Mimi naitwa Ayubu Kurdi, nikiwa spika wa bunge ya Meru, na siku ya leo ni furaha kubwa kwa sababu ile shinda kidogo tulikuwa naye kati ya ofisi ya Gavana, Excellency Bishop Kawira Mwangaza, na bunge ile naongoza hapa, tumefika, hiyo maneno imefika mwisho. Sema kulingana na uongozi wa His Excellency William Ruto na deputy wa katika chagua, tulianza kuongea wiki moja imepita, na siku ya leo Mama Safi awimelepa akatumwa na His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua akaambiwa akuje tumalize ile maneno ilikuwa imebaki na kila kitu umemaliza.
Amen.
Kwa hivyo sisi tunataka kuambia Meru na Kenya mzima ya kwamba sisi tuko kitu moja na tumekubaliana kwa miaka 4.5 ile imebaki tutafanyia watu kazi na tutakuwa timu moja.
Amen.
Na tunasema asante kwa President Rigathi Gachagua kwa kuona ni vizuri Meru iongee kwa sauti moja. Na Gavana ni mali nikisema wewe kwa siasa, wewe ndio kiongozi na ndiye mkubwa yetu sisi zote. Na sisi tutakuwa nyuma yako, tutakusupport, wewe ukiwa mama yetu na ukiwa baba yetu. Ndio Meru ikae vizuri kana kama Meru akalebweka. Thank you and God bless you.
Jina langu ni Evans Mawira Karia, MCA wa Mitunguo na kiongozi walio wengi katika bunge letu la Meru. Familia Kiperu. Na nataka kusema leo ni siku kubwa sana kwa Wameru. Sababu tangu tufanye uchaguzi hapa Meru, tukachagua Gavana, tukachagua MCAs, hakujakuwa na amani na hakujakuwa na kuelewana katika upande wa bunge letu la Meru na upande wa Gavana Excellency Kawira Mwangaza. Lakini siku ya leo sisi tumekubaliana ya kwamba for the interest of Meru tuweke hayo maneno yote ambayo yalikuwa nasumbua, tuwachane nayo kutoka leo, na tukamua kushikana na kuelewana kabisa ndio tuweze kufanyia wa Meru kazi. Na sisi kama bunge letu la Meru tumeambia gavana wetu kwamba sisi tuko tayari, yale ambayo yote yanahitajika kufanywa na bunge, wale mawaziri ambao hatukupitisha, wale chief officers ambao hawakuweza kupita kuletwa katika bunge letu, supplementary budget na mambo yote ambayo yanahitajika sisi kufanya kama bunge, tuko tayari hata kama ni kuanzia kesho ndio tuweze kufanya ku make sure that Marians do receive their services that they do need so much.
We can stop there. We can stop there. Thank you. Are you able to identify the people in that clip? Are they members of the County Assembly of Meru?
They are all members of County Assembly of Meru, read by the Speaker, Ayubu Bondi.
We have also seen the move of this motion in that clip.
The majority.
The majority.
Yes.
Thank you. In that clip, is there any indication that you bragged about the fact that you went scot-free?
No.
You have also used a certain slogan that you are now being accused of using, Kabati, Kabati, Kaende, Kaende. Did you actually use those two slogans in your speech with members of County Assembly present?
I used it because it is a slogan for development, the speed of development in Meru.
The speed of development in Meru.
That is Kaende, Kaende, Kabati, Kabati.
Just for us to be able to understand, what does this slogan actually mean? What is Kabati? What is Kaende?
Kabati means like accelerating to the fullness of everything, that is highest speed possible. And then Kaende is non-stop. That means that the development will be non-stop and at a very high speed.
Thank you. So when then the move of the motion comes here and tells the Senate that Kaende, Kaende, Kabati, Kabati is a don't care slogan that says you don't care about anything, is that a misinformation and distortion of facts?
It is.
Thank you. Let us proceed. So then you are seen in many instances using that slogan, Kabati, Kabati, Kaende, Kaende.
Even the MCAs have embraced the same slogan and they also use it.
Thank you. Let us proceed and watch the next video. And you have alluded to the fact that you agreed to give at least 15 million for every ward for development projects. Was that done?
It was done.
Can we watch video KMV2?
Antojaja gwetwa oversight najo ndenda kuburi ojubwi muntu ore okuthithiria oversight na ara Nairobi obicine no oversight yeje tureaja tukinyete ndagaceji ni oversight ire kwingi tukwenda ne TV na Nairobi kana ne kweja gukinya murandi jora tukuona burenda oversight ya groundine kana burenda era obicine na ara Nairobi imenya mantu jajo tinda gwetwa oversight kairi turogire batu turi mbunge ya Meru no tubatwe itwe tunengeri mandate MCA no nengeri mandate ya kuthithia oversight ya mirandi yonde ya county government ikatiba ya Kenya no boba nengeri iseria kinya report irera thoma ya control of budget etibati kwamba gwita ara Seneti ikamba kuja county assembly ya Meru report ire thithagia oversight ya Senate ni report yake ya auditor general netira uma kwa mantu jaja ngibatrogira oversight ikaniritwe na siasa tufanye nini atutaki ito akirigi ntugita kwa DTF na ara mitungu mantu ja utheru wa bioro na kinya babu na ibonete mantu bioro bira biaki na ndito akire plant na ara bioro bira biojura bikeja bikandrinwa igaikwara mitungu project ya million 17 ingalinge nipe bwaja iri roje rwa mitungu rwa rwita kwa water supply rwa runywa wa mitungu yonde iruthithe rwa rehabilitation na project yo ni endelete Gavana 15% done project ya milioni 18 o mitungu yetu boy thatu bugeta kuma Karingene ibuje Karingene te Karingene kara kanyagene kara kamuguru kuma ara Karingene ugeta muguru ugeta muchagara barabara yo nethithirwe na yathithirwe na mbeca cia Gavana ire tugwita cia flagship na nethithitwe na 95% na aru andu bo inya gukaura kana gukarotero batita na ndina yetumirite shilingi milioni 5 lingaringira ni Gavana mpe aibo gutara cia kinyingana mwanga thai 17 plus 18 plus 5 omwendera yake gutara ndagaceje yenu tukinyete aja na aru eji ire gwetwo kwa matumo Kirimba bridge na yo bote kuona nireketie ibora unairo
we can stop there. The video is
Gavana na aru
quite long.
kurekia ibethire.
Thank you. Madam Governor, who is the person making that speech in that video?
The majority leader and the person who was the mover of the impeachment motion.
That is Honorable Evans Mawira.
Yes.
You are also seen in that video.
Yes.
Kindly, are you able to recall the date and where that event took place?
I can't recall the date, but the event took place in his own ward.
Which month was that?
I don't remember the month.
You don't remember.
Yes.
Is it recent or?
It is very recent.
Very recent.
Yes.
Thank you. Mawira seems to be making certain remarks about your performance. What is he saying?
He's very right because he's trying to praise the work that we do in Meru County. One, for the 10 million that we usually give forward development and the flagship projects. What I do as a governor is I go around all the ones and then give the list of all the development projects to the area MCA to read to the people, to understand, and to also for us to be accountable for the funds. Every ward we do a visit with the area MCA, and I usually carry a booklet of the projects, that is ward project and flagship project for the area MCA to read to the people to understand what they are doing. And that is what exactly the majority leader is doing in his own ward.
Can you recall the number of projects that he is mentioning by name that have been done in his particular ward?
In that particular day, we were opening a bridge. He was talking about the roads done and also the boreholes and so many other things that we did with more than 50 million.
Thank you. I've actually retrieved the date of that event. It was the 2nd of August 2023, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you. So then, when you are accused of not being able to work with leaders by the same mover of the motion, do you find some form of hypocrisy?
Yes, and also maybe it's being misled.
Is being misled. Thank you. So as of 2nd of August 2023, the mover of the motion thought that you're perfect and you're in good working relationship with at least all the MCAs.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's move to K.
Sawa na ni thiri isipokuwa tu changes tu kidogo na tumuonia na kwa na engineer ikakuitwa kinya andro atare ndiri omira rweru kama mora rwite anjira ira tukwirwa ara kukekirwa karabati sawa ena rweru tuku yako ruo twina obichi wa kwa murire public works.
Thank you. Again, you're seen launching a project. Yes. A dam specifically. Which ward is that?
That is Mudhara ward, and the one with the document is the area MCA, Aurelio Murangiri, reading the developments, including the dam that costed us 39 million in his own ward.
Are you able to recall the date when you launched this particular dam at Mudhara?
I think it's not even 3 months ago.
Less than 3 months ago.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, I will move on to the second issue, which still touches on your relationship with members of County Assembly in respect to projects and Okolea. Let us play the video KMV 20.
Ngerie MC watu mawera atugure na maromba. Ngerie MC watu mawera mbeke bila kuno. Natorombeni. Ewe mwathani mutura moyo wora wombere ndine eguru. Wombera bila biona wana bila biona kwa. Toya muthenya mbere ya mezo ya kumuthenya jo na hapa. Toya na ndina hapo ndongo angeja na njeko na kanisa kwa kuchokeka ndio na mbona unaadwa tena kirauni kile ndina kirauni kama amiu henu ndina kirauni ya kanisa Bwana sifiwe itobiria ukuona kieni negeki kinyama ikiela kwani nayo kinyangu kwele tukinyete kinyangalele ya ndega kinyi tobira byonje tukaeja na butiki ngoteleke zikari kiryo inkwenda gushokeria ashore ba kwa
kindly pause the video. You are making certain remarks, and before we go to the remarks, we have also seen the leader of majority again in that video. Where were you with him on that particular day?
That is an Okolea program which is run by my family and my church. We usually go to do the Okolea every Sunday afternoon, and I always invite if they wish to come and join me on Sundays. And with me is the Honorable Mawila, the mover of the motion or the impeachment, who was also involved in that operation of Korea Kanakameru.
This was on 13th of August this year, 2023.
13th of August this year.
You are making certain remarks about the capacity in which you are in that event.
Yes, I always tell them that in operational Korea events, they don't see the governor, but they should see their mother, and also a bishop who is coming to assist, not in form of a government, but as a church and as their mother.
Did you explain the source of the resources that you were giving, including the microphone you were holding? I heard you talk about that.
I always do that in every meeting. that everything that I use in Okolea, there is nothing that comes from the county government of Meru, because I've been doing that for the last 12 years.
Thank you. May we proceed with that video?
Barabona nge Okolea bambikyunguge. Naru akarukire mtore ombokirie getandene ni mheshimiwa wa Ntora yeje Evans Mawira. Mheshimiwa Evans Mawira alingalingile mwali kama pema mbeta kanisene aleta shilingi mwemwe ngiri igana limwe. Ambera kinyawaga ongere ekirangalisia kumahuta. Kinyawaga ongere ongera merengeti ya bajojo. Nalingalingilwa kanwe. Kabati. Kayana. Wena shimo abeto bale aja tuena DMK, tuena Aaron. Beza batukaidi na ike mwambe na tutile hata uwangi.
Mwambere na antobara bakameme bamurike mwega na ba TV badikiri. Murandi jojo jo Korea. Mapi tukuruka ya budget ira itangu kendene ya county ya Meru. County Assembly ya Meru na ini mikagia mbunge ni majority lina. Na iko na confirm na gukujira na gwikira kirore gute shilingi kinyemwe twakurukia ya mbeca cia thirikari kenda ya murandi na jo Korea. Kwa ura kuria murandi jo Korea kiuria aliuria manto ja muntu kiumbe murandi jo Gavana Kawira Mwangaza na family yawe na kanisa yawe. Na hiyo naro bukuba tote kwa ya mando mengi ya thirikari. Nundu naro murandi jo ringithia ngea jo ringithia muntu yangi no tweri jo ringithia ndo bara bayo mabati. Totindire tora to amerengeti. Uro kuma na makobokobo aja. No uro kuma na mattress na mando ja uja kare sawasa.
Thank you. I think we've had enough of that video. Thank you. Madam Governor, again you are heard and using the same slogan, Kabati, Kabati, Kaende, Kaende.
Yes.
The members of County Assembly were again present.
Yes.
Did they join you in that slogan?
They joined me in that slogan.
Did they understand the meaning of your slogan?
They will understand the meaning of the slogan.
Honorable Mawira is also making certain remarks about the funders of Okolea. What is he saying about who funds the Okolea program?
He says, as the County Assembly of Meru, they are the ones that pass the budget, and they have never passed any coin to be utilized in the Okolea program. It is purely my project to assist the disadvantaged people in our community. And he, as part of the well-wisher, that very early morning, gave me 100,000 shillings to fuel my vehicles.
So he contributed towards your charity project?
Yes.
Let us now move to the next video, 1C, and see another member of County Assembly. I think it's in the same event, you will confirm. 1C.
Gavana wetu na ntubanda bene bonde Bwana Yesu asifiwe nisalimie mwalimu sana oni beta wandie MKMC wa Bogeta West na baruguru na nande bara batu dinga tete kanima iba ile to iketia gavana tiru lakini na nene ndo nokire na uma sauro na nende beta wa Paulo na ndio nasema ni nani Paulo. Na nini ndongele tienjeshi ya mama. Na toa tisho monoto kera watoka le opposition angana ndeto li
We can pause there for a moment. Thank you. Who is the person making those remarks?
He is MCA, and he was the mover of the first impeachment.
He was the mover of the previous motion.
Yes.
This again is on 13th of August this year.
Yes.
Do you in any way seem to have any disagreement with the mover of the previous motion?
No, he's even telling the public that he is now a changed man. They used to disturb Mama, but he has changed from Saul to Paul.
That is in reference to the biblical Paul,
Yes.
who was once Saul.
Yeah.
He's also talking about them being forced, if I can hear him correctly, to join the opposition. What was he talking about?
He was talking about the pressure amounted to them by external forces or by external people that do not belong to the county assembly to fight the government, but he has vowed not to repeat again and support the government.
Thank you. Let's proceed watching that video. We can stop there for that video. Thank you. Honorable DMK Kiogora says, mimi sitatishwa, sitawekwa uoga. What was he making reference to?
He was making reference to the leaders, the national leaders, and also the party leaders that were telling them to keep off from supporting the government. And also he is also talking about the Kumi Bila breaks, because the people of Meru have started another slogan again, Kumi Bila breaks, and they were warned as MCAs not to continue saying Kumi Bila breaks. So he's telling the people that come from Nairobi to keep off. They want development.
Thank you. We will be moving on to the source of that pressure, sourcely. But finally, in support of your Okolea program, let us watch video 1E. It's a very short video.
Bishop untongeretie mbunge lina timu kona twinio batutu sawa atubetu support ni kiambi support ni njoke tu support ni gavana wetu lutu te maendeleo ya jara kwinai kwinandwa maendeleo ya jara kwinai kwino kiri au ange gavana iwe munene okwa na munene weje na ngombe tu bakweya na ngombe tende gavana de murevi ndeza ya ngombe ndeza ya mburi spika yu na bigine ngona mburi ya
We can stop at that. Madam Speaker, who is the person making the remarks in that video?
This is the Speaker of County Assembly of Meru.
And you confirm this was during an Okolea program meeting?
Yes, in Mwangaza ward, Mojo.
Who is the MCA Mwangaza ward?
It's Mr. Njoki.
Mr. Njoki.
He was present.
You also are in the company of other people in that?
Those are all MCAs.
Our MCAs?
Yes.
What has the Speaker just done?
The Speaker has donated a goat because I usually give the single mothers and widows cows. And he says, because you've given and donated a cow and you are senior than me, let me donate a goat. And he has done it.
Thank you. Again, what date was this?
It is barely around 3 months ago.
3 months ago. Now, we have alluded to some forces that were behind, or rather that were not happy with this unity between you and MCAs. I want you to identify and tell us what is happening in the next video 1D. Kindly, may we play video 1D?
MCA go karibisha ntora ya Bogeta East na mbuge wotwe on behalf ya ntoba Bogeta East na Bogeta West na wezangu bare aja tucokerie nkatho nontu bwe kinya rire okinya oni mbigirwe ntomba kwethira nteja nontu rire okinya gatia kana kara kamumero kuringithia gagatia ipati yakwa na impugwa kweli imbati kweja kuona nontu ni pati ya maendeleo ndene ntura yetu. So Gavana, we are so humbled to wear it sana. Baatu tole MCA tole MPIDU na ikia to kuona na arua totena mantoa mainge na arua intukwe gwokorea kana kamumero na mami umenye baatu tole MPIDU
na ndenda ugire Gavana tukamukaria na inya na ora kumbikika kendo mbako boli trangugi no ndo twamwagia thayo tukona inya la twamwagitie thayo ateja gaguku na nande mbigirwe torirwe tukaria siasa nene nuje tumbokani arimo muntu ondu ukwoja maratasi nande kurandu bakamatete ibe beta ubirana na ala mawa na ito abatumira Nairobi gutegera imbie tumicukari raitirie bategera imbie tumiogoti bukuongerwa gutokwaririo ogoti ingabana bakweja ubira mbesa ikwekiwa Seneti counties ciongerwa mbesa ibaregere kuongera ndi baliuga ibejete kwa base ole base timbese ireku
utoto ni ku Madam Gavana na ukageta muntu otutogira tore no ngato ngora we ni ntobya mero ala tomba kogera to abwitira ngoge iyo tomba ko change as long as Kawira Mwangaza we ni ntobya mero oni ndakira mbuwe mato waambirani isa sawa na
we can post there. We have seen the first speaker, no, actually the second, the one in the black jacket. Are you able to identify him?
Is the mover of the first motion of impeachment, DMK Kiogora.
He is heard making certain remarks about Keberi and forces from Nairobi. What is he talking about?
He is referring to the Meru MPs and also the senator that they should keep off Meru because they have their own leader, maybe referring to the end of state, and then the MCs have their own leader. And he says last weekend they were in a certain town named Maua, where they earned the Keberi, the starring stake or spoon, meaning the governor, and they are saying that they will not be part and a parcel of what the members of parliament are doing.
Thank you. So the honorable member for County Assembly, Bogeta West, talks about a force that is being advanced using the Keberi tool. That is what he's saying?
Yes.
And he's telling them to keep off?
Yes.
Thank you. Let us move to video KMV 14. KMV 14, kindly.
Na bakaya batuana na badiri manto yo differences sisi omba ko dirio bature MCA bembe tute tayari utonye ratio so ende atukuromba tu kurungu arembere Gavana na deputy governor bomba ko bajo wata naira nigenda tukomba kutukinda weta ture anto amwe ture anto bembe na ture MCA na tongeri bonde brantu badurite ende na imani manto yo onde akaombekana lakini tute kuenda zaitu akulupia budget siasa ikaanjiria nigenda mwembe akomba kwitwa ita ya maendeleo so baba kuya na manto akeberi Keberi mwene Keberi naso ke agreement mwene Keberi naso ke tiania manto yembe na rekana yaro e ambe tu kongangari ko karia mama non to MPs beto odonku wayo ke gongwa ko mama ende mundu aru mogeni ajo to janganya agili otobo ke agili ate to ore mama we are not ready endo ro ko lo gubutu gwena Keberi keu ayate ke ate ana Keberi ke ato ate ana jo o gran koromba neo iba imenyere lakini ukiakweli maendeleo wale tete wale maendeleo ende manto akeberi na ina keberi toto ogenda mbere yetu embe twatanirite embe ronde kuma ntonyire mwanka thuci twege nto kimwe noro kaingilia atasiarwa
antu bonthe bara bakwenda kurwa bareje egembe baberanga mwigembe akugitwa mwigembe akuthithua lakini utinya mwigembe umwe kuma arateta nontore mwigembe wongo nonete uti makosa Kawira Mwangaza nayo antu bara bakuja guteta bakira egembe rekuinyirwa ibakuma inventi bange bakumatigania ibo bathiorokite asese cia kiberi bathioroka asese cia kiegeri bathioroka asese cia oversight yu cionthe nuntu egembe wenaregete nuntu naije.
Thank you. We can post that video there. Governor confirmed that was on 27th of August this year.
Yes, 27th of August.
This year?
Yes.
Are you able to tell who the people speaking in that video are?
Those are all MCS from Igembe, apart from one who comes from Central Imenti. The rest are Igembe MCS.
They are making a specific grievance about siasa za Kiberi. What are they talking about?
They are talking about the members of parliament who had just begun a movement by the name Kiberi, coming all the way from Nairobi to Meru, and they are warning them that they have been given work to do in Nairobi. They should continue with their work there and leave them alone, because they have only one mama who can assist them to do development.
Thank you. So this was 27th of August 2023. Honorable Governor, if then someone comes here and says that you only were able to work with MCAs for a few weeks, are they lying or they're telling the truth?
That is pure lie.
Thank you. We want to understand this Kiberi movement, siasa za Kiberi movement. And I want you to listen carefully to video 3A and see where, or the source, the genesis of the Kiberi movement. 3A. Are you able to even explain what he's saying?
He's talking about that. They will use that thing to... I'm not able to explain. Because it has been done by so many men, and now they are ready as members of parliament, him being the leader, to do that to me. And he has recruited so many young men for the purpose of that Kiberi movement, together with the deputy speaker of this house.
Can we watch KMV 12?
wasiosiba anafaa kuongezwa akapata kwa tumbo na simiti na mawe ndio asisikie njaa tena. Wangapi wanasema Kawira aende? Kawira mbae, lakini tunataka kiti ya Mutuma apewe. Kiti yake, ndikuti yake, magari rudishwe, security apewe, kila kitu apewe, na kiti ya finance, kiti ya pesa apewe. Mwanzo ndaya la kebiri. Ndia kuna mkomeno wa remera arome ando kabira.
Kwa hivyo sisi tunaunga mkono hilo mjadala umeletwa na Mheshimiwa Mporo, na asante kwa kunialika. Tuendelee namna hiyo. Kazi yetu ni kushikanisha kila mtu. Asanteni sana ndugu zangu. Thank you very much.
Madam Governor, I hope you are able to explain again, or perhaps the message has sunk, what these honorable members are telling members of the public.
The honorable members of Parliament and the Deputy Speaker of this honorable House is telling the public that I defeated men, and in this case, they are going to use that steering stake and they recruited so many young men for that purpose, and they have been holding rallies almost in all towns in Meru, doing the same over the weekends. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this is purely politics. Purely politics.
Thank you. There is another video, I think that will be my last, 3C on the gender profiling and harassment. 3C. 3C.
Mukuru ku ingwendo kuona uliki na tuli America enda ugekana kamurega lakini tuwe kamurega tena kana. Tumekuwa na boloi. Angwendo Meru Kawira Mwangaza utendwa leo ukavatia mwana mwenye ukidhata. Tumekuwa na boloi. Tuenda kuwa kena tutike murega baichu imukuru ku ya mwana nwe. Ya pronto abori agera mono mbele na kayuyu agwa baile agwa bata tenjamba loi kantenjamba kana ko mtoto la obora masiara de kuelega na nchoke mbele na keberio wewe keda kala hekeda Kawira udire hekeda Kawira kukwekeda na alemera arume Kawira hangwa nyo yakaba hangwa ndenda kenda menya wewe mwekuru wale mwekuru muchoro kwa etawa mwenda na mulingete ke urenga wayo kiamdaka endukisha ndaka siakwa no mwekuru mukuru.
Thank you. The honorable member is making certain remarks about your husband. What is he saying?
He's saying that he has given me 9 months to be pregnant. And if that is not done, you'll do it via what is holding.
Eventually, Honorable Governor, your deputy joined the movement and made similar attacks on you and on your Kolea program. Can we watch KMV4?
tubatethie twete Tharaka County tubatethie twete Embu County tubatethie twete Isiolo County tubatethie tukorea kirundu kia thina kia pubate kia kuewa itokwenda kinya tukweyana
Hapo sana didi.
Ndio Gavana. Pubate program. Kirundu keke pubate program wetu okolea. Matwe murungu wake tuetera tutetera muntu. Nonto kirundu ke anto bembe beku atotokenda. Beku erwa kirundu ke wikireti makire bagwa tokolea. Kabisa. Yo madina yaba ya
We can stop there. Thank you. Honorable Governor, that is your Deputy Governor.
Yes.
He's making certain remarks about the Okolea program.
Yes.
What is he saying?
He's saying that the Okolea program is a poverty program. They have refused it in their area, the area that...
Which area is that?
That is Egembe South, where he comes from.
So he's telling members of his ward to reject the...
To reject the poverty program, that is Okolea, and they should not be ready to receive anything in terms of Okolea. And Honorable Speaker, to add to this, for the last 12 years, I've been doing the Okolea, and this gave me favor before God. And my deputy governor, who was just a prison askari, God gave us favor because of this program. And out of the program that raised him from being askari to His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Meru, is the same person that is seen on video, the campaigning or demeaning the same program that God used to give us favor before men and women.
And he continued, and we watch KMV 15. 15. That video was played yesterday, but for your sake, can you explain what the youths are chanting, led by your deputy governor?
That is my deputy governor with some youths from his area saying that Kawira doesn't have a home. She only does prostitution in the county. And they are praising him and warming him up to be the governor or take over the position of the governor of Meru. And that is exactly what has been happening to our members of parliament, including the senator or deputy senator of this house. They have started warming him up to be the governor and take charge because I'm just a woman before them.
Thank you. It got worse by slaughtering of a cow that you had donated. Can we watch KMV 16? Confirm whether that's the same cow you had donated and to whom are due donated the We can stop there. Thank you. Thank you. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I see like the cow is still alive as it's being slaughtered.
Yes.
Was that the cow you had donated?
Yeah, we were in the area of the Igembe South, and then we identified the old woman who was to be given the cow as it was entering into the field. Then they took the cow, slaughtered it just before us.
And they are singing the same song, but they're also making other remarks. What are the other remarks?
Before I say about the other remarks, is that hiyo ng'ombe ilikuwa imebeba ndama ya miezi 6. And then they are saying that the same way they have slaughtered or killed the cow is the same way they will do to Kawira Mwangaza.
Thank you. We can have the video removed from the screen. That has not also been the only thing. You have also been accused of not being a proper Meru. Are you aware of that fact? What? That you have been accused of not being a proper original Meru, therefore unfit to lead?
Yes, they have been accusing me of not being a Merian, but a Kikuyu.
Thank you. Let's first watch KMV 5. You will make those explanations.
Ina ide Kawira Mwangaza aita wanaona kuna vya zaidi ina aita mwana hello Kawira Kawira umme wa mwego bato twapa mwego twapa ibwa twome ko miete hebo twapa mero nei tokere ya yuko mwana wao au twapita kabilao.
What is the Honorable Member of Parliament saying in respect to your ethnicity?
He says that the father of Kawira Mwangaza is a Kikuyu from Kirithaine by the name Jogona, and the mother is Mogore from Kikuyu, and they don't want to be ruled by a Kikuyu in Meru. That's why they want to change to get a real Marian, who is Peter Katirau Munya, the first governor.
Thank you, Madam Kawira. Is it then your evidence before this Senate that pressure has been asserted on members of County Assembly to ensure your removal from office on charges that do not hold any water?
Pressure has been mounted to members of County Assembly of Meru by the same leaders, as we have seen, and they had no option apart from adopting an impeachment motion where they were forced to sign and impeach.
Can we watch KMV 11 on the nature of that threat and whether the MCAs indeed succumbed to the pressure?
Na bunduki ila inacho chiando icha kuromba. Baate menyato ibia mene ora ugatwira mbazi ni kiraitu. Na ndiro ruri ndo akiraitu na bunduki cia bako rombete ri. Ukarwa na ukarwa soka bunduki ndo ya bunduki. Dole ndo reka umogira bunduki cia cia yundie. Bange ba ibia mene no menya ta aduri yake ama. Okiro jando no menya bunduki ila inacho cia kuromba bati kwa very careful. Ukara.
Is that the same Saul turned Paul, going back to being Saul?
What DMK Kiogora is telling the public is that because I was elected as an independent governor, I've been operating with hired guns. And now Medeka Rentori has taken his own, Kiraito has taken his own, so I'm left without any weapon to fight, and I should be very careful because they have withdrawn their support as the leaders of political parties or as the senior most people in their parties.
That is barely 3 weeks after DMK Kiogora had been seen dancing, praising you, and saying that he will defend you and will reject any influence from above.
It was like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Let us watch then 3E.
Ilo tokuwa watu ilo tutuwe ama kia UDA no tutugani. Withdraw support tukuwete mwangata kwa majority rinda to withdraw. As nini manjo chondo tukulidere kire ku support kira assembly to kiama. No to withdraw membership betu na bati ku support kaire.
Thank you. Who is the person speaking in that video and what is he saying?
Is the Honorable Senator, Deputy Speaker of this Honorable House, and he's saying that he might withdraw or is ending to withdrawing support of UDA members from being part and parcel of my agenda of development in Meru County.
Was that withdrawal, threat to withdraw, made a reality?
Indeed, after I spoke that, after 3-4 days, it was made a reality.
Let us watch KMV9 on whether that support was actually withdrawn. KMV9.
Must prevail. Number 9, we officially withdraw our support from the governor due to recent events and our proven inability to link effectively. Our deaf honorable members are instructed not to in any way associate with the governor in person, Honorable Bishop Kawira Mwangaza. Number 10, we express support for the impeachment of Governor Kawira Mwangaza for the best interest of the people of Meru County and commit ourselves without reservation to this cause, which we commence forthwith. Number 11, we support CS Honorable Medical Tourist political leadership and endorse the proposal to make him the county's spokesperson for a unified voice of Meru County. Number 12, We applaud the newfound unity among political leaders, except Governor Kawira Mwangaza, for the sake of peace and development.
Thank you. KMV 8, I think that is self-explanatory. KMV 8.